Hey everyone, SweetJohnnyCage here, back with another guide for Resident Evil 3 Remake. This time I'm going to show you how to get the trophy Bookworm. In order to get Bookworm, you need to find and read all 56 files. This does not have to be done on one playthrough. You can do it on multiple playthroughs. You can even do it on multiple save files. I did 55 of 56 on normal or standard, and then I got the final one on hardcore. So with all that out of the way, let's get started. The first document is going to be Jill's report, and this can be found inside the apartment as well as several other documents. It's right here on the pegboard. Go ahead and read that. Next up is going to be investigation notes. This is right next to it. It's the picture of Umbrella. Next is going to be the unsealed envelope. This is on the bureau right next to the pegboard. So go ahead and read that. And then the final document in the apartment is going to be message from a colleague. You can find this by the pizza box with that sweet JPEG pizza. So that is all the notes for Jill's apartment, and then we're going to move into Raccoon City proper. Once you are off the train, when the game really gets started, there's going to be the UBCS ammo crafting guide on the bench, and upstairs is going to be the tabloid front page, and then right next to the first typewriter is going to be the UBCS herb field manual. In the apartment with the safe, we're going to find the drugstore owner's journal. This tells you how to get the safe combination. Up next, we're going to get the Kite Bros Railway Manual, and this is in the Kite Bros Railway office right near the puzzle. Up next, we have the Subway Employees Memo. This is in the same room that you get the shotgun in, just in the next room over from the previous note. Up next, we have the training log, and this is on the corpse inside the garage after you get the bolt cutters. Next, we have the UBCS suicide note. This is in the street, just around the corner from the garage, next to the corpse that has the handgun bullets. Just around the corner from this dead gentleman is the electrician's note. This is on the brick wall, just on the opposite corner of the body. A quick note, this is accessible later in case you miss it as you're running away from Nemesis with the rocket launcher. Up next, we have the facts from the substation chief. This is in the subway power substation office. Let's go ahead and pick that up. Next, we have the green herbs, they work document. This is next to the 2 green herbs near the subway power station fence. Just past this one, we have the substation internal memo. This is on the wall next to the gate that leads into the power substation. This is the document that I missed, and this is Chad's notes. I'm not going to show it on the map. Instead, I'm going to show you how to get it. It is very easily missable. You will get it inside the substation after you climb up the ladder. Doll document. Once you make it into the sewers, you want to read the note on the wall here about increased sewer security. Up next, we have the invoice from Gun Shop Kendo. This is right next to where you pick up the grenade launcher in the office inside the sewers. This tells you about how to combine ammo for the different grenade launcher rounds. In the same office, just next to this document, is going to be the research assistant's logs. This is easily missable because usually there's only one file per room. Once you go down the sewers and you find a corridor behind a waterfall, you will see another note called Sewer Workers Notes. So go ahead and pick that up. And then in the lab room, just past that waterfall, you will find a love letter, which is disturbing and terrifying at the same time. Once you make it out of the sewers and start getting chased through the demolition site by Nemesis, you will find a save room just before the boss fight. And next to the typewriter, you'll find a package of notices called Notice of Demolition Delay. Once you get past all that, there is a house behind Gunshop Kendo that you can go into. Upstairs, you'll find the Raccoon Times Readers column. When you gain control of Carlos in RPD, you want to go down towards the entrance of the police station in the underground kind of garden area, and you'll find an email outbox notice. In the reception area near the first box that you need to use Brad's key card to open, you'll find the ID card security protocols. In the west office, which is where the safe is, you will find the next document, which is the September 20th arrest report. Just past that, in the dark room, you will find the internal memo next to the typewriter. So go ahead and pick that up. When you make it to the safety deposit room, you want to look on the whiteboard for the 3rd floor locker combination, which is DCM, same as in the original game. Moving on into the shower room, you will see a note on the bench there called Note to a Friend. Go ahead and read that for credit. Once you get past the shower room and into the STARS office, on Wesker's desk, you will find the report on the mansion incident, which recaps the events of Resident Evil 1. Let's go ahead and read that for credit. Once you gain control of Jill and you get near the grenade launcher, you'll be picking up some mine rounds, a first aid spray, and next to the first aid spray and mine rounds on the bench near the box, you'll find the UBCS New Weaponry Notice. This tells you how to use mine rounds. On the streets in Clock Tower Plaza, this is a very easily missable document. This one is the Clock Tower brochure, which kind of teases you of the Clock Tower puzzle from the original game. Once you gain control of Carlos and you're in the hospital, in the reception area, you will find the Spencer Memorial pamphlet. When you are in the hospital lab reception, you will find the nurse's journal from September 25th. This is the beginning of the documentation of the crazy doctor that these nurses work for, which is great. Upstairs in the records room, which is another safe room, you'll find the nurse's journal from September 27th on the shelf over here, right here. Next up, we're going to get the nurse's journal from September 29th, and this is in the staff room. This is right before Carlos encounters the first Hunter Beta, so just get ready for that encounter because it is kind of crazy. Up next, in that same room, we have the memos from administration. This is just outside the door that you need the key to get into. Next up, we have the document regarding lost items inside of the operating room. This has the safe combination on it. Keep in mind that you can get all these with Jill once you gain control of her, just in case you miss any with Carlos. But once you leave the hospital with Jill, you can no longer access any of these documents. So just keep that in mind. Next up, we have the note about a tape recording. We can find this in the nurse's station. Should be no surprise that these nurses were recording this doctor because he is a true sicko and psycho and probably a sociopath. So go ahead and pick that up. That's the note about a tape recording. Up next, we have the Banquet Invitation. This is right next to Dr. Nathaniel Bard's corpse, right behind him in his office. So go ahead and pick that up. Kind of a disturbing document. Next up, we have the email from Nathaniel Bard, and this will be found on the computer next to the room that has the vaccine. This is a mandatory document. As soon as you read this, it triggers the cutscene that gives you the vaccine. Once we gain control of Jill one more time and we go into the underground storage area, we're going to find the elevator notice next to the hip pouch and typewriter in the first safe room in the underground storage. So go ahead and pick that up. Get credit for that one. Next up, we have the Employee Memo. This is kind of hard to find. It's in the underground storage in the shortcut room as you go back into the safe room. So go ahead and find that. Next up, we have the Unfinished Activity Log. This is another mandatory document. It's in the control room once you solve the fuse puzzle. So this is the Unfinished Activity Log. Once you get into Nest 2, we're going to find the Nest 2 Employee Regulations, and this is in the safe room. As soon as you get into Nest 2, just down the first hallway. For some reason, I had a hard time actually picking this one up. Next up, we have Isaac Graves' diary, and this is in the hallway just upstairs from the safe room. There is a zombie here that you will need to kill. I'm pretty sure it's Isaac Graves himself, but that's his diary. Next up, we have the essay on vaccine synthesis. This is in the same room that you've synthesized the vaccine. It doesn't have a name in this room, but it's a giant room. You're going to come across it. It's on a hospital gurney. Next up, we have the scientist's dying message. Be careful about getting this one on Nightmare or Inferno because this will not be a zombie. Instead, it will be a palehead, but on Standard, Assisted, and Hardcore, it's just a dead zombie in the corner. Let's go ahead and pick that up. Next, we have the Expression of Concern. This is in the incubation lab where you get the vaccine antigen. This room has several paleheads, a few zombies. It's a little bit of work to get to, but once you're in there, it is next to the computers on this desk here. It's another one that I had a weird time actually obtaining. Next up, we have the shipping notice. This can be found in the room that seems to be holding a bunch of, I think they're Mr. X's, maybe they're paleheads, some sort of zombies in like cryogenic freezing. I don't know, it's weird. But go ahead and pick up the shipping notice. Next up, we have the weaponry authorization request. This is in Lab 1 where you get the other part of the vaccine. There are zombies on the floor here, so just be careful. They can come alive. Next up, we have the disposal center notice, and this is in the room just before Nemesis Stage 3. So this is a safe room, but there is a note on a wall, and you kind of only have one shot to get this, because once you beat the boss, you cannot come back here. Next up, we have the weapon spec sheet, and this is in the next safe room before Nemesis Stage 4. It's a green book here. It's a weapon spec sheet. And then the final note that we have is just before you leave Nest 2, we have the suspicious contract memo that was likely dropped by Nikolai. This is available right after you defeat Nemesis Stage 4. up on the platform here before you go down the final hallway. And that's it. That's all 56 files in Resident Evil 3 Remake. A lot of these are missable, as you can't do a ton of backtracking in this game, unlike Resident Evil 2, where you could backtrack to the entire game before you go to Nest. In this game, a lot of things are missable, so this will likely take you more than one playthrough. Again, you do not have to do this all in one save file. You can do this on several difficulties. I did that personally. I got 55 on standard, and I got the last one on hardcore. So if you miss any, don't worry. In your replays, you can get them again. But that's it. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. I'll do my best to help you out. If you're looking for more guides for Resident Evil 3 Remake, please subscribe to the channel so you get alerted when new guides go live. Don't forget to join my new community Discord server. The link to that is in the video description below. If you're interested in supporting the channel monetarily, please consider becoming a channel member by clicking the blue join button below this video. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and on Twitch, and as always, I'm SweetJohnnyCage. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.